Global besties, welcome to 1,000 Miles Pod.
You belong here.
That feels so good, guys.
We're here. We're actually recording the podcast.
We're doing it. We're actually doing the dang thing.
The first official episode of 1,000 Miles Pod.
And if you are listening right now, that means you are an OG global bestie, so get excited. Now, we could be basic and give bios of ourselves, but we thought it'd be way more fun to give bios of each other. And we are good friends. I would consider these two girls some of my absolute besties, but we've also only known each other for a relatively short period of time. So this is gonna be hilarious and interesting to see how well we actually know each other.
No pressure.
Yeah, I'm already a little bit like, this is gonna be silly as fuck.
Yeah. We will clarify the truth though.
Yeah.
Shall I go first?
Yeah. Also, if you're watching, we're probably gonna stop looking at you. Don't be offended.
But we love you, global bestie.
Okay, I'm gonna introduce Maddie because,
I'm ready for it. I'm so excited to see what this is gonna be.
disclaimer, we have known each other, technically, I would say maybe 18 months?
Yeah.
But in person, that like online. 18 months online and about 6 in person.
Yeah.
But we've spent a maximum of like 2 weeks together.
Yeah.
Okay, let's begin.
Okay, tell me about myself.
This is Maddie.
Tell me about myself.
Probably one of the most humble and gracious people I know. Born in Texas. She's nodding. That's a yes. Maddie used to be a D1 volleyball player.
You got it.
Wow.
I'm British. I don't know what that means. I used to play volleyball too, but I don't know what D1. I'm assuming Division 1
Yeah, Division 1.
in college.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, she's from the US.
Maddie here is married to Patrick. Sweethearts. They've been married for 10 years. And, you know, I think obviously this is about Maddie, not about Patrick, but I feel like your relationship kind of formed who you are as a person. So I felt that was important to.
Yes, DJ 1 p.m.
TJ 1 p.m.
DJ 1 p.m.
And Mad Dog.
Yeah.
Maddie is also a licensed therapist.
True.
And that was her full-time job until recently when she has become a full-time creator for the Travel Mentors.
I have, yes. It is a wild time to be alive, but that's so accurate. You crushed it.
She's also a water baby. I feel like every time I see what you're up to, you're in some sort of body of water. So definitely not a warthog.
It's like
There
water.
are occasionally times where if I'm not looking at Ty, I totally don't understand what she's saying because I have to like listen to the accent, which is glorious, and also sometimes look at her lips to like pick up what she's saying.
I did not know this.
It's fun. It's fun. It's like a fun little challenge.
It's amazing.
I feel like though I'm going to be easy to distinguish in this podcast because there's 2 American ladies here and 1 Brit. So
Easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I might throw an accent in every now and then. We'll
For
see.
sure. Yeah, we'll see. Could get wild. Yeah, you nailed it. I am a water baby. I love the water, even though I did not grow up by the water. I grew up in Dallas, Texas. I guess I grew up by lakes, so I do love a lake, but
It can't be cold though.
Yeah, it cannot be cold. Anything under 70 is cold. Anything under 50 is freezing, and I'm not sure what that is in Celsius, so I'm so sorry. But I do know that we lived in Phoenix, Arizona for the last 6 years, and in Celsius, it was typically around 40 to 45. And I pretty much thrive in the heat. So I am like a heat water baby. That's where I'm happiest.
wow. What is your star sign?
Do we know this about each
Is
other?
that like,
I don't know.
is that like Aries? Is that what that
Should
means?
we have checked our compatibility before starting this podcast based on our star signs?
I don't know anything about it, but I've been told that I'm an Aries, I believe. And I remember that because it starts with an A, and I was born in April.
Oh.
Yeah.
See, this is where I would say, oh, that's a water sign. It makes sense, but I actually don't know.
Yeah, I don't actually. Do you know if you're a water sign?
I don't know what that means.
I don't know if that's
I'm
a
not
water
sure.
sign.
People are going to be listening like, what?
Yeah.
We're here to learn.
We're here to learn. Yeah, so that's my bio. I'm super stoked to be here. I have always wanted to have a podcast, and I've been waiting for the right timing and the right people, and we found it, and it's going to be magic. So we're stoked.
We'll touch on that
so excited.
a little bit later as well, how we all met.
Yeah. More details.
I'm going to give the glorious little mermaid princess Nikki Tomlin's bio. I'm going to tell you all about her. This is Nikki Tomlin. What to even say about her? She is like I said, a certified glorious mermaid princess.
I don't think I've ever been described as a mermaid princess, but I love it.
I know, I've seen you.
As long as there's no seaweed. Mermaid princess.
Yeah, so the most important thing you need to know about Nikki is that she is absolutely horrified by wet plants.
Wet plants.
So like seaweed, I guess like a freshly spritzed house plant. I'm not entirely sure.
I don't typically touch them, so like the fear isn't there, but.
Like actually I've seen this in first person. She screams.
Insert audio clip now.
Piles of seaweed, I hate seaweed! Oh! I hate this.
Yeah. So that's Nikki. She was born and raised in Rapid City, South Dakota in the US, which is in the Midwest US. She and my wonderful husband, DJ 1PM, are also both Midwesterners. So that's one of the things I absolutely love. Nikki is one of the most incredibly talented photographers and just like visual artists that I know. Her talent for photography and her editing style is so inspirational. I was obsessed with her before I even met her, which we'll get into later.
Yeah.
And she has recently flipped her whole world upside down in just the most courageous, beautiful step to become a full-time traveler, full-time digital nomad. And we could not be more proud of our beautiful mermaid princess. So that is Nikki Tomlin, my friends.
Yeah, I don't think there's nothing to correct there. Maddie nailed it and said it so much more eloquently than I would.
Also, she's obsessed with matcha, so send matcha.
You send matcha with Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
I fear I have not gassed you up enough because that was beautiful.
I literally was
okay.
like, wow, okay, Maddie.
My goal in life is to make people feel uncomfortably encouraged.
I love that. I feel like that's a really great way to describe yourself.
I feel comforted by your encouragement. Wow.
Yeah.
I want it to be like you feel so encouraged, but then it's like, okay, now I feel like excessively encouraged, and now I feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's definitely your superpower.
Yes.
Yeah, I would agree that that's right up your alley.
Oh, and Nikki is passionate about the human experience. She details vlogs and the way that she captures the human experience in the world on her social channels is chef's kiss. Mm-hmm. You can't see it, maybe you can, but I'm doing a beautiful Italian chef's kiss thing.
It is chaotic in a really gloriously fun way. Yeah. So yeah, I feel like you nailed that. Wow.
Thanks, girl.
I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna be as eloquent to you, Ty.
She's a bitch.
I'm like, wow, Maddie really nailed that. I should have gone second. Okay, I'm gonna introduce Ty, and I feel like this is gonna be kind of fun because like I know you, but
the least.
Yeah. I feel like I know you the least of the group, which is like crazy considering I'm in your house and
your roommate now.
I'm literally like your roommate at this point.
Yeah.
But Ty was born in Guernsey, moved to Australia for a little while.
Correct.
Came back to Guernsey.
Indeed. Yeah.
Did you ever go to college?
No.
Didn't think so based off of the job description she gave the other day. She has a wonderful husband, Ben, who is
also our podcast editor. Shout out.
Thanks, Ben.
Literally a gem. Thank you for doing that because wow. And she's a postie here in Guernsey. She delivers people's mail in the most fabulous way I've ever seen anybody deliver mail. I saw it from my window this morning.
She's like this hot little fairy running around neighborhoods delivering mail. It's incredible.
In like the most ninja graceful fashion I think I've ever seen anybody deliver mail. It's impressive. She's also a light. She is so incredibly kind and funny. Your ability to just like insert a joke is top notch. I aspire to have that grace in telling jokes. And yeah, your content creator journey. I actually don't know how long you've been doing it for. When did you start? The same time as Maddie? No, you guys started TCP together.
Yeah.
Ben and I started just before TCP, like a month before.
And so that was 2023?
Last year.
Okay. 24?
Yeah, 24.
Yeah, started last year.
Okay, that's crazy. You guys have 30,000 followers. That's nuts. You are one of the best storytellers in Reels I've ever seen. Preach. Literally.
Preach.
Literally. Oh, I love your videos so much. And the editing you do, so creative, so fun. If you don't follow Ty, go follow Ty, the Infrequent Flyers. I mean, Ben's technically part of it too. He's phenomenal, but the editing I see you do is so good. And I just love it. And your series that you're doing before you turn 30, also in love with that. Ty's got a lot going on, but
You guys are so sweet.
Tell us more about the series, and just because that's a little bit of context of just we're in our 30s already, but you are so close.
Before I dive in, can I just say, like, you two are people that I've looked up to for a very long time. Obviously, we met through TCP, but ever since meeting you through that, yourself and Patrick's been like a pair that we have really aspired to be like. I followed you for a long time, Nikki. We'll get into like first impressions and like what we thought of each other before we actually met later. But it's crazy that in this current moment, you guys are sat in my house and it still feels so surreal that we have a podcast together.
yeah.
So cool.
But thank you so much for your kind words.
Yeah. That was so
love it.
fun.
I love you both.
Yeah, I love you.
Yeah, we love you guys.
So fun.
Sorry, going back, the series that I'm doing at the moment is called Destination 30. So I am turning 30 in December. And I'm just trying to figure my shit out. I don't know what I'm doing with my life. I just wanted, the premise was each week I'd be trying things. You know, things get in the way. Life is busy. But I'm just trying new hobbies.
Is co-steering going to be an episode?
Yes.
Should be.
That was crazy.
The idea was going to be like tour guide Thai for the week. I don't know. We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see.
I'm excited to see how it unfolds.
But I just feel like for a really long time, I have been rolling with the punches, just doing the same thing day in, day out. And that's not how I want to live, especially moving into my 30s. I'm like, I want to really figure out who I am and what I enjoy doing.
Yeah.
Hey, this podcast might be an episode of Destination 30.
Yeah. Do you feel like you found some of what you've been looking for and doing it so far?
I think, so a few of the projects that I've done have been really creative based. And I think I have re-sparked my joy for art, which is not something I've done in a long time. And just, I don't know, kind of is forcing me to do things.
Yeah.
Which is really nice because I think so often you can get stuck into the routine of life, and especially when you're working full time, and it's making my year a lot more memorable, which is lovely.
Oh,
I love that.
I love that.
I'm sure we'll get into this more at some point, but I was terrified to turn 30. I was the person like on the day before I turned 30, like in tears. Like Patrick's a few months older than me, so I was like, Patrick, what's it like? And he was like, you're ridiculous, but it's fine. And I have fallen in love with my 30s in a way that I never thought I would. And I just know you're going to also. And if Global Besties, you guys are listening and you're, you know, newly 30 or in your 20s, approaching 30, or even in your early 20s, teens, whatever, it only gets better.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I don't think I would have said that maybe 6 months ago or like a year ago, but I also was like turning 30. And I literally leading up to it, probably until 2 weeks before, I was like I was fine. And then 2 weeks before I was like, I'm not fine. I'm turning 30. Holy shit, my whole life is over.
Yeah.
And truly like lost it. But now I feel like we said, we'll dive into it deeper later, but the flip into it is, I think you're going to thrive and you're going to love it.
I think like when you're, I don't know, I've heard this rhetoric that your 20s are the best years of your life and you're finding out who you are, but I don't know if that ever really finishes. I think you're always evolving and you're constantly finding out who you are as a person. Yeah. I feel like I care less about what people think as I'm getting older, which is so nice.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I have more control in my reaction to people's reaction to me, if that makes any sense.
100%.
It's more peaceful.
It is more peaceful. One of the reasons we wanted to start this podcast is because we are all in these massive transition periods in our lives where we're making really pivotal decisions. And we were talking about this off camera and off podcast earlier, but it kind of feels like your 20s are really big decisions that affect your 30s, but it feels like your 30s are really big decisions that affect the rest of your life. And that's one of the things that we're going to dive into in this podcast, and hopefully feels relatable for all the Global Besties listening, is just what is it like in real time to make big decisions and process through that with your best friends and navigate transitions in general, because it's hard, there's grief, it's emotional, and that's part of why we're here.
And we're all like feeling that same sentiment in wildly different ways.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like very different. So it's going to be fun and interesting to unpack.
Yeah. We want to bring you guys along on the journey as well, because it's not a one answer fits all. Everybody has their own journey to go on, and hopefully this podcast can give a bit of insight and I don't know, help you guys out if you are struggling or feeling a bit lost as well.
Yeah, 100%. Should we dive into how we met each other? Because that is, that is the reason. Let's just get in really quick to the reason we chose the name 1,000 Miles, and we can backtrack from there, because it is the most bizarre thing in the world that the three of us are sitting on the same couch together. We are all together right now. We will be recording this globally from now on until we see each other next. But it is the most random experience that three women from other sides of the planet are sitting on a couch together on a small British isle off the coast of France recording a podcast. So let's get into how we met.
I think, Nikki, I don't know if you would agree, but I think Maddie is kind of like the glue that...
100%.
Like, we met through Maddie.
Yeah.
And that wouldn't have happened otherwise. So I feel like it's only right that you explain.
Okay, I can start.
Yeah.
So in general, my personality is not in a creepy way, but maybe in a creepy way, but it's not creepy because it works out. I'll look at people and be like, we're gonna be best friends. And then I'll just kind of be like, I'm gonna make it happen. Cool, you are chosen.
You have been chosen.
Yeah, call it youngest child syndrome, whatever you wanna call it. But I'm like, I need besties in my life. So Tyler and I don't even know the whole timeline of when we met, but I'll start with Tyler and I, and then I'll talk about Nikki and I. Tyler and I met through a content creation course called TCP. So if you hear us refer to that TCP, that's just this course that we were in, how we met. And we were put into the same accountability group. Mm-hmm. And I can't remember logistically if it was the accountability group first or if we had DM'd each other on the side, but we met through Instagram. We met through this course, we DM'd each other, and I was like, yeah, Tyler's gonna be one of my besties, and she doesn't even know it yet.
I did not know this part, but Ben and I had the same conversation. I was like, I love Maddie. This chick is so cool.
That's so funny. Spoiler alert, also did the same thing with Patrick when I met him. I was like, yeah, you're gonna be my husband, even though you don't know yet. So Tyler and I met through that on a parallel timeline. Nikki, I followed Nikki for years. She was one of kind of the OG creators that I followed, and I was so inspired by her, and I was like, she's literally the coolest human ever, even though she could be a serial killer. I don't know anything about her.
Very possible.
But she seems so cool.
Not really.
And Nikki was actually living in Phoenix when we were living in Phoenix, but on opposite sides of the city, and was having some car troubles, which is a main character in the story of why Nikki and I lived in the same city for a year and never hung out until like 2 days before she moved.
Literally.
And we always lament, like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe we wasted a whole year of our lives. Like
not glued to each other.
Not glued to each other. And we had communicated that year. I'm pretty sure, I'll let Nikki speak to this, but I think she may have been like, who's this random chick on Instagram that keeps like DMing me? But again, I was like, you shall be mine. You shall be my best friend.
I am collecting you like Pokemon.
Yeah, right. And I am selective with who I collect. So all I can think about is I'm a slut for friends. So Nikki and I connected. We went on a hike. She needed help with a shoot. So we went on a hike in Phoenix, and then I was like, immediately, I love you dearly. And then she moved.
Yeah.
So then
I also did just like tell you all my deepest, darkest traumas in like the 2 hours that we were together.
Yeah.
And then in the same breath was like, this is what you should do with content creation. Okay, bye.
Yeah. And she gave me some advice that changed my life. And as a full-time therapist at the time, I was like, I love your deep and dark trauma. So I hate boring conversations. If you heard the trailer to our podcast, you know that. So that's kind of the two parallel timelines. And where they all intersect is Patrick and I had this like wild idea to have a vow renewal for our 10-year wedding anniversary this past March in a castle.
Likes nice things.
Yeah, Patrick is definitely in the Finer Things Club. If you guys are Office listeners or watchers, you will know that reference, but he loves nice things. So I was like, let's do a vow renewal. And he was like, bet, let's do it in a castle. And I was like, sweet, we're inviting all of our friends. And that's where I invited Nikki to come and Tyler to come, even though I had never met Tyler in person, and Nikki and I had hung out exactly one time for 2 hours.
Yep.
No, for real, because when we actually got to Italy, Ben and I were like, okay, so we're going to a castle in the ass end of nowhere in Italy.
Literally, I think the town had like 400 people in it.
We have never met any of these people. Are we going to end up on a true crime documentary? And if they do, can they please use my good side? Because
kill me the right way.
With the claw.
Yeah. So that is how we all three met. I'll kind of let you guys talk through. I mean, you guys met at the castle, obviously, but I don't know if you guys communicated ahead of time or what. So you guys can jump into that.
I was like, I don't think we did.
No, I mean, we had been following Nikki for a while. We got to the castle and was like, day 2, she still hasn't followed us back.
I am so bad about that. Like, I'll be like, yeah, I know I'm going to hang out with like a group of people, and then I'm like, wait, did I end up following these people? I don't know. We're here now. Like, I'm so bad at it.
No hard feelings.
Yeah, but I do think we ate every single meal next to each other on that.
We
and
did.
That's like, I think Ben was always next to me, and then you were on the other side of Ben, and I was like, I love these people. Not that I didn't love everyone. Yeah, I was like, not that I didn't love everyone, but it was, I just felt like really extra connected to the two of you. And I think that run that Ben and I went on truly bonded us because I thought I was going to die. But yeah, I don't think I had any knowledge of you guys whatsoever prior to going. Like, I probably couldn't even have picked you out of a crowd, to be honest. Like,
now you know, can't get us out your head.
No, I live with you in Guernsey for the next 2 weeks.
So that's kind of the circuitous story of how we all connected. It is incredibly random.
Yeah.
It is wild, but I don't know, like when you just meet someone, even if it's online, and you just feel this like connection to them and this like affinity for them and this just like, oh, like there you are. Like, there you are. You were missing from my life and now you're here. I feel like I felt that with both of you guys.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, this is for real, and I, deeply love both of you, Nikki the Brave and Tyler the Bold.
Oh my God, don't get me, I will cry again.
Stop.
Maddie at her vow renewal in this castle, her and Pat sat all of us down and gave us like essentially superlatives or like these titles to go with who we are to them and like how they've observed us in the world and stuff. And it was bonding.
There was not a dry eye in the house.
Like,
We were all
I literally wasn't ready, and I frequently think about that. And I ran a half marathon after that and repeated things that Ben had said to me and that you guys had said to me in the chat, and also repeated the Nikki the Brave multiple times running 13 miles. And I was like, yeah, these are my people.
Yeah. A little bit of context, I guess, with that. Again, my favorite thing in the world is to encourage people. I love it deeply. And so we were like, we really want to celebrate everyone who's coming to this vow renewal and just like spend a minute to like, they're coming across the world to celebrate us. Like we want to celebrate them. So we came up with character qualities that I felt like embodied everyone there. And as global besties, you need to know Nikki the Brave is one of the bravest people I know. And
hands down.
yeah, we'll get more into, you get more into your story like as the podcast goes, but she is just such a brave, courageous human, and that was so fitting for her. And Tyler was Tyler the Bold, because if you know Tyler, she is a force of nature, and she is just bold, like bold in who she is, bold in her beliefs, bold in just her vulnerability. Like I think you can be bold in vulnerability. So yeah, now you guys know Nikki the Brave and Tyler the Bold.
Obviously we did not know this was happening, as we said. However, I think this just goes to show exactly the type of people that yourself and Patrick are, because this moment was about celebrating you and your 10 years, and it was not a selfish act. You were completely selfless in the fact that you were making it about everyone else as well. And that just shows how generous you guys are and how thoughtful and kind and just so pure and genuine. It's amazing.
And the kind of people that you attract in that energy. And it was truly phenomenal to see it all come together and see how you guys like really continue to show the love beyond just inviting people to come and celebrate you.
That's sweet. I appreciate that. As a lady,
As a lady,
female, I'm trying to make a better effort at accepting compliments instead of being like, no.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to be like, pause, thank you.
Yes.
I feel like if you're listening to this, when the other person's speaking about, like any of us, we're kind of just sat there like, like kind of just nodding, taking it in, feeling slightly uncomfortable, but yeah, I agree. I think it's important to be able to take compliments. And
Yeah.
we're learning.
Yeah, we are. So now that we have the really sweet, sappy stuff out of the way, I am curious, what were our first impressions of each other before we actually met? I know you guys, Nikki, you didn't necessarily know Tyler, who Tyler was yet.
No, but I think like just the initial you guys getting out of the car, I was like, oh, these guys are funny. They're going to be funny. That was like my first thought was like, okay, this is going to be a riot. And it proved to be exactly that. That was like, that was the earliest thought that I had of the two of you.
I love that.
I mean, I hope we lived up to expectations.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Well, for us, it was actually really funny because I don't know if I ever told you this, but Ben and I were having this conversation on the way to the castle. We had about a 2-hour drive and we were like, I wonder what Nikki's going to be like. Because we had never had a conversation before. Everybody else that went to the castle, we had sort of like slipped into each other's DMs and had a conversation. We were kind of just like, she's going to be a fountain of knowledge. Okay.
I've never, not even close as someone said you're a fountain of knowledge.
Nikki downplays it, but she is an unbelievable photographer, and she's a very gracious and skilled teacher of photography.
Oh, we picked that brain. And I feel like I learned a lot. But yeah, no, we were having this conversation and we were like, I hope she likes us. And yeah, we like, I don't think Ben really knew because Ben wasn't as involved in the account then. But yeah, we were slightly intimidated just by like meeting everyone really. And I don't know, as soon as we saw everyone and you all came running up to the car, instantly all that fear, like any anxiety just melted off my body and I fell into a hug with someone. I don't even know who I hugged first.
I have it on video.
I'm like, I have it on video somewhere too. I'm like, I don't know.
How familiar are you guys, and also listeners, how familiar are you guys with the Lindsay Lohan Parent Trap?
Very.
OG?
No, well, the OG is like the Haley Mills one from the 80s. But like, yeah, like our OG for our,
Yeah.
Because there's a second one coming out, eh?
Oh.
Yeah. No, Freaky Friday. That's Freaky Friday.
Oh wait, what are we talking? Parent Trap. Oh my God. Sorry, that was a heinous mistake because Parent Trap is one of my favorite movies.
Well, you know the scene where I think it's Hallie's going to meet her mom and she's like crossing her fingers in the cab or whatever, and she's like, please like me, please like me. Yeah. She likes me. That's what I was picturing when you were like driving up, being like, I hope they like me.
Exactly what, please don't murder me, please don't murder me. No, that's exactly what I was like though. I was like, I hope, well, all of you, I was like, I hope they like that.
Yeah, I think you like kind of told us pretty quickly that you guys both were like, wait, what are we driving up to this castle in the middle of nowhere? Like, are we gonna get murdered? And it immediately like became a joke. Like we all were like, oh, that's so funny. And like, I don't even know how many trips deep in like meeting random people from the internet. So like that thought doesn't even cross my mind anymore. So like that was so funny to me. Like to just, and even now I'm like, it's so funny that like Maddie could have just chainsawed you.
Yep, I could have. I really could have. Yeah, but I didn't. So that says a lot about my character.
I feel like for yourself, Maddie, like we had spoken in the DMs for probably a year.
Yeah, probably.
At that point?
Yeah, about a year.
So although we had never met in person, I felt like I had an understanding of who you are as a person, and like that generosity and kindness comes across even online. So I felt like I knew that we were going to be comfortable sort of speaking to you.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was proved correct, like within the first 3 seconds.
Yeah. I think, Ty, for me, first impressions of you, I mean, it was through this course we were in. So it must have been a group call. Mm-hmm. And I just remember being like, I like them. Like, they're so fantastic. And I just immediately remember being like, they have a zest for life that I need in my life. Like, I want that so much in my friendships. So it was fun. And Nikki, for you, I felt like you were the cool girl that I wasn't cool enough to hang out with.
Retweet.
What?
Yeah.
Retweet. And then when I met you, I was like, oh, you're actually cooler than I thought even you were. And also in the best way, you are like the goofiest, silly, like person ever. And I'm obsessed.
Yeah, I don't even know what's happening.
And if it gets even crazier for you guys listening, not only were Patrick and I were like, okay, here's a bunch of people who don't know each other that we barely know. We're going to invite them to a castle in Italy for a very important memory of our lives. Prior to that, we traveled through Milan, Italy for about a week. And then after that, we traveled along the Italian Riviera, which we will get to. But with Nikki, we were like, just because our schedules worked, we offered this to everyone, but Nikki was the one whose schedule worked for it. We ended up traveling with Nikki for 3 weeks.
Yeah, literally. They were like, yeah, do you want to travel with us before and after? And I was like, yeah, that sounds so fun. Like, sign me up. And then, like, I think after we had been, like, committed and, like, had started making plans, I was like, wait, isn't this your, like, 10th anniversary? Like, are you sure you want me to be, like, hopping around with you? And you're like, yeah, no, it's totally fine.
I was like, yeah, of course. We went on a 2-hour hike together. Let's travel for 3 weeks.
Yeah. And I was like,
am I third wheeling?
yeah, but I'm like, I love to be a third wheel. I'm like, whatever. But I was just like, this is a big one. This is a big anniversary. And like, you're doing a lot for it. And I'm like, do you really want somebody to just like be bopping around with you the entire time? But it worked out great. It worked out great.
It was so fun.
I think on that note as well, Ben and I tagged along for an extra 2 days on the Italian Riviera.
Yeah.
Which is where this kind of came about, right? The podcast. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's tell them. So we were in this tiny rent car that Nikki was driving.
Yeah, I drove the entire time.
Yeah, we went on this epic like road trip all through Italy.
The rental
Italian
car
Riviera.
fiasco with the partnership.
Yeah, there was a lot going on with it. Nikki was a baller, tour guide, driver, everything that week. And
Having not made the itinerary at all.
yeah, we literally made the itinerary, Patrick and I did, and then we're like, Nikki, drive us here.
And I was like, I'll drive great because I'm a worthless passenger.
Yeah. So Nikki and our Swifties were working on getting Ty there, but I'm sure Taylor Swift was playing at some point. But we were like, okay, let's switch the music up. And mind you, this is me and Patrick and Ben and Tyler and Nikki, all 5 of us in like a very small European car.
Yeah.
Crammed in there, driving along windy Italian roads. And I was just like, you know what would bop right now? 1,000 Miles by Vanessa Carlton.
Yeah, exactly. But before that, we had been hiking around and we all were just like cackling and laughing and like
Yes.
just kind of like bullshitting. And then I don't know who said it first, but somebody was like, we should have a podcast.
It absolutely was not me, because if I was like, I'm not cool enough to...
Like, it maybe would have been one of the two of us because I'm always like thinking like, I love a podcast.
I know it wasn't me, because I would have been like, they're going to think, who is this Klingon?
No.
But you know when you're friends, you're like, oh, we're so funny together, we should start a podcast. And then nothing comes of it. We all just looked at each other like, we should do that.
And then we waited like 2 minutes and we were walking down the trail again and talked about a few other things. And I was like, I said out loud, I'm so serious.
And
like,
I think
I'm
our
so
response
serious.
was like looking each other dead in the eye, like, I'm so dead serious.
Yeah, we were like, this has to happen.
So fast forward about 20, 30 minutes, maybe like an hour, we were driving around. And
almost near death with a bus and a rock.
yes, yeah. And one of my love languages is being DJ in the car. I love it. It's the way I love myself. I don't know if other people love it, but it's one of my love languages.
I'll take it because I only play Taylor Swift.
And I would say that I have a pretty good, maybe it's a therapist in me, but I feel like I usually have a pretty good pulse on like what the vibe in the room or the car needs next. And I was like, this car needs 1,000 Miles by Vanessa Carlton. So I play it. And of course, the little like piano intro, we all 5 of us just lost our mind. But Nikki and Tyler and I were literally just started screaming.
Yeah.
And I don't know who said it, but someone was like, this would be the best name for a podcast.
I think it was you because at that point I had also we were just spitting out names on the trail. I wish I remembered all the names I had looked up, but because I kept like searching like Spotify or like whatever to see if like any of the podcast names existed and we couldn't find anything.
Yeah.
And then we were in the car and you played the song and I'm pretty sure it was you that was like, this would be the perfect. Yeah.
And I think as soon as that came out of your mouth, we all just went,
and then we were like, it'd be great for this reason and this reason and it all just was like perfectly meshed together.
So that is how the name 1,000 Miles Pod was born. Was from that moment of scream singing 1,000 Miles by Vanessa Carlton in a tiny car crammed together on the Italian Riviera.
Yeah.
poor Ben and Patrick sat there like, what is going on?
They didn't know yet that they would be our manager and our podcast editor, but here we are.
Here we are.
Yeah. So I think
against their wills. They didn't even volunteer. We
I
told
know.
them. They were voluntold.
It's the best. 1,000 miles though is such a good name. We can kind of get into what our vision is for the podcast and why we want to do this. One of the reasons why the name 1,000 Miles Pod clicked is because logistically we live 1,000, if not more, thousands of miles apart all across the globe. And, Nikki is in transit the most. Tyler's here in Guernsey. I don't know if we've ever actually said the name of the island where you live, but she's here in Guernsey in the UK, and we're based in Hawaii, but we travel, I'd say probably part-time at this point. And we're thousands of miles apart, and we're all navigating really similar life stages, but also like in super unique ways.
Yeah, very much so. And the navigating all of what's happening to us individually while also trying to maintain our friendships with each other and relationships with other people. There's so many things coming into the balance of it all in that distance, I think.
Absolutely. I think also just trying to find ourselves in this moment in time as well, and sort of figure out a direction in which we want to grow as individuals, but also, like you said, as well in relationships, which we'll get into relationships on another episode. But we just wanted to have a place where we could talk really candidly about these things and have you guys join us. Yeah,
we figured if the three of us who live on other sides of the globe and, all, 4 years apart in age, 29 up to 33, that math. Yeah. So we figured, if we're all kind of wrestling through similar questions, then we're not alone. And you guys probably are too, whether you're a guy or girl or, someone listening to this, or if you're a teenager. I would feel so cool if teenagers listen to this. I'd be like, oh my gosh. If you are a teenage listener, go listen to 1,000 Miles by Vanessa Carlton, because maybe you don't know that song, but it's going to change your life. But yeah, we just figured, we can't be the only ones struggling with this. Like, we're cool, but we're not that unique. Like, these are human experiences. I know, Nikki, that's something you're especially passionate about, and just felt like, you guys belong here. Like, we belong here and you guys belong here with us, and we want you guys to go along this journey with us.
Yeah, and we kind of talked about this off camera beforehand too, and like want to be completely transparent with you guys is like we have all of these ideas and like kind of where we have this vision, but at the same time we're navigating so much of it that we can't give you this like definitive like this is exactly what you're going to get from this podcast, because it is this human experience of like we have no idea what's coming. None of us do. This is all of our first times on earth, our first times living in our 30s and like literally navigating everything that comes with it. So as much as we would love to shape it all, I think it's much easier to just say to you in a completely transparent way that like this is going to be a whole lot of growth for all of us in a lot of different ways that we can't predict.
I think that's really exciting though, personally. I think having free reign to sort of explore this with each other, but also with you guys, the listeners, I think, the possibilities are endless.
Yeah, they are endless. In some ways, it's like public therapy. It's like therapy with your friends. And we want, by friends, we do mean the three of us, but we also mean you guys listening and watching and tuning in on socials and interacting and all the things. Like, we are so passionate about community. We all kind of sat down, we had a planning meeting recently and just kind of talked about like for each of us, what's the most important thing with this podcast. And kind of the main theme that came up in different ways was community. Like we just want this to be a community where you guys can come and listen and be like, oh my gosh, like I'm a Nikki. Like I didn't realize, or like, I totally relate to Ty. Like I did not realize like that someone else was doing that, or like, oh my gosh, like that thing Maddie said, like I didn't know anyone else thought that way or struggled with that or wrestled with that. So we want it to be a mixture of authenticity and vulnerability and also just like a raging good time because we think we're hilarious.
Literally. Yeah. You haven't seen it yet, but it's coming.
But also like a two-way conversation. It's easy for us to sit here and discuss amongst ourselves, but our DMs are open. We want to have this conversation with you guys. It's really important that you feel comfortable that you can reach out to us, and likewise we can reach out to you and ask you guys questions and you can ask us questions.
Yeah, so as much as it is going to ebb and flow and evolve, the main themes that we are definitely going to talk about are travel. I mean, we are all traveling, we're all passionate about that. We're all in the travel content creator space. We're definitely going to talk about relationships, romantic, and friendships. I feel like adult friendships are a wild ride that nobody prepares you for, but
No.
they're also so precious when you find them. It's just like the most precious gift. So we'll definitely be talking about that and what it looks like to navigate a long distance relationship, aka across potentially 3 continents.
Yeah.
1,000 miles, if you will.
1,000 miles, if you will. So those are things that we're going to talk about, but TBD on how this all evolves.
Yes.
So here's what's coming next. Are you ready? Do you think they're ready? I think they're ready.
I
Okay.
feel like this is like a really good next episode.
Global besties, buckle up because in episode 2, we are doing a DTR.
What does that mean?
Ooh, you may ask, what is a DTR? Well, a DTR means define the relationship. And we are going to be talking all about relationships, our romantic relationships, our experiences with them. Tyler has an absolutely nuts, wild story of her wedding that we
don't know.
To be fair, we don't even know it. I know parts of it and I am flabbergasted.
I almost told them. We said save it for the pod.
I know,
Yeah.
I've been sitting here for days like, I need to know this story.
Yeah, we
and
all
we've
need
been
to be
saving
involved.
it just for you guys, just so the Global Besties can be a part of it.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about, how I met DJ 1PM. Spoiler alert, also, he's not actually a DJ.
He's literally not even close to a
And
DJ.
Nikki is going to be walking us through all the things.
Yep, I'm single, in case you guys didn't catch that, which means I'm dating on the road. And we'll unpack what that means later.
So stay tuned because episode 2 is going to be a wild ride talking about relationships and having our DTR.
Yeah, buddy.
Woo!
Okay, so with that being said, make sure you guys rate, review, and subscribe, and follow us on all the social handles. We are under 1,000 Miles Pod on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok.
Thanks for being here.
We will catch you in the next episode. And remember that you belong here. Was that our catchphrase?
Yes! I was like, somebody has to deliver this, and you did it so perfectly. I love. Wow.
Do you have to clap at the end?
No.
I don't know.